Struggling to effectively implement TPAC into your classroom teaching? Have you even heard of the TPAC model? Well, in this presentation, we're going to show you one way to use the TPAC model to enhance your students' learning.
Teachers in the 21st century compete with many distractions for students' attention. Getting your students engaged and keeping them engaged is an important component of making their education meaningful. Teachers have a responsibility to keep up with the latest technologies in order to engage our tech-savvy students so that they can effectively support and guide our students' learning. Today, you're going to see how technology and productive pedagogies can be utilised to better teach our students in the area of mathematics. When it comes to mathematics, many students disengage. But if technology is involved, all of a sudden, math is more engaging. One of the challenges that the Essential Learnings Year 3 and 5 presents teachers with is teaching students about 3D objects. Some children are spatially aware and relate to 3D shapes, but others need to be taught explicitly. Marilyn Nixon states that children's earliest mathematical experience is spatial in nature, as they learn to understand size and to recognise 2D and 3D objects. Spatial ability is a major factor in children's learning of geometric skills and concepts. As children can find it challenging to visualise 3D shapes, it is often helpful to have something concrete for them to touch. However, a single 3D shape has limitations, as it can only be manipulated in basic ways, and although the students are learning about 3D shapes, they are not actually creating anything for themselves. Our group's research has led us to a Google product, SketchUp, that allows students to create 3D constructs. Creating one's own product strengthens the learning process. Whether this is as simple as a Year 3 student creating rectangular prisms and building a wall, or a Year 5 student using the measurement tool to design furniture, or a Year 6 student mapping out his bedroom, SketchUp will not only engage the student, it will develop spatial awareness. For example, students could be presented with a problem, such as designing purposeful furniture for one's classroom. After teaching some basic SketchUp skills, the students can solve problems for themselves using a discovery learning pedagogy. The way we teach 3D shapes can be enhanced by using SketchUp and by implementing a constructivist approach of discovery learning. Discovery learning happens when the tools and information needed to solve a problem or learn a concept are provided and the learner makes sense of them. So how does this all fit together? How does TPAC help us to be better teachers? If we can put together 3 elements successfully, we can greatly increase the learning potential of students in our class. One practical application for using SketchUp with a discovery learning pedagogy would be teaching Year 3 students to better relate to 3D shapes. One could begin with giving some limited instruction in SketchUp and then issue students with a challenge to build a wall out of their own 3D cubes or rectangular prisms for Humpty Dumpty to sit on. This activity can lead to a variety of math concepts being taught as the students address the problem.
So exactly how does SketchUp work, you ask?
Firstly, visit www.sketchup.google.com and download the free program, the focus technology of this presentation. Now, once the program has opened, select the template appropriate to your students' abilities. In this case, we have selected the simple template in meters because it supports measurement. Then, simply click Start using SketchUp and a new page will open. We recommend students explore SketchUp through discovery learning, but it is important for teachers to have a basic understanding of the tools and functions so we can provide students with ways to make sense of the learning. So here are some of the basic functions relevant to an introductory discovery lesson of 3D shapes. Looking at the top, we have the toolbar. The middle of the page we refer to as the modelling window, and at the bottom we see the data relating to the tool being used. Running from left to right, we have our arrowhead for selecting items, the pencil icon for drawing straight lines, the rectangle icon for drawing rectangles, and the circle for drawing circles. If we skip across, we also need the eraser icon, tape measure icon, the pull push icon, the orbit, pan and zoom icons. If we follow the Humpty Dumpty example, students could be asked to build rectangles of a specified size, say 3.5 metres long by approximately 2 metres wide. So we use our rectangle tool, place it on the modelling window and drag it out to the desired length. You will notice in the bottom right hand corner of the screen the distance is being measured out. Let's make that rectangle into a rectangular prism, about 1 metre high. So we select our push-pull icon, click on the rectangle, hold our finger down and drag the rectangle out to a distance of 1 metre. Now, to alter the view, you can select the zoom icon, then scroll in or out with your mouse. Grab from left to right, up or down with the pan icon, or alternatively, you can select the orbit icon and re-angle the view. Remember, the great thing about SketchUp is there is no specific way to build 3D objects. This was just one example of how you could build a rectangular prism.
So where to from here, you ask? This is just the beginning of SketchUp. For more information, open the Help column and scroll down to the Welcome to SketchUp tab. Under the Learn tab, you'll find a plethora of information including text and video tutorials, a Help Centre and a blog. Now you can embark on your own discovery learning experience.
But for now, let's look at one student's experience with SketchUp.
I hear you've been using a new program.
Yeah, it's called SketchUp. It's a three-dimensional program. You just design anything.
Oh really? What sort of things could you design with it?
Chairs, sharpeners.
Like pencil sharpeners?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. And what else?
just anything.
Yeah?
That's 3D. As you can see, there's quite a few around here.
So could I design a zoo if I wanted to design a zoo?
If you want
So
to.
who taught you how to use SketchUp?
Mum was talking about it when we were in the car one time, and it sounded really interesting. And Dad's like, "Oh, I use it at work." So we got home, I downloaded it, and I'm like, "How do I use this?" I'm like, "Oh, I'll just look at the tutorials." So I learned by the tutorials.
And then did you keep learning by tutorials or?
No, I just learned by myself pretty much.
Okay, so just by doing stuff you learned how to do it.
Yep.
That's cool. It was a bit of a discovery, a bit of an adventure, hey? If your teachers could get you to use SketchUp for school stuff.
Easily.
Yeah?
Very easily.
Oh, okay. So what sort of things are you thinking about?
Last year I had to design my room, which was kind of hard.
And it would have been more fun on SketchUp, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I had to do it on AutoCAD. It's a good program. It looks a bit more real, but this it's a lot easier to nift around with.
Okay, so what makes it easier?
Like all the symbols, it just makes more sense.
Oh, so that little bar of symbols up the top there, you find those easier to work with?
Yeah, and there's also shortcuts. Like there's a rotational tool here, but if you press down the scroll thing,
It'll do the same
it does
thing.
the rotational thing still.
Cool. Because that is so important to be able to look at something from every angle, isn't it?
Very.
This when you designed your room at school, did the other kids do it on ArchiCAD?
No, they did by hand because they didn't know about AutoCAD.
And they didn't know about SketchUp.
Not at all.
Okay, because SketchUp is something that you can just download from Google, isn't it?
Yep. The Google app. Download it easy.
Awesome. That's wonderful.
As we addressed the TPAC model in this professional development, we hope that you have seen on a simple level how effective it is to pull together the three aspects of TPAC in order to find that sweet spot that is so important when guiding our tech-savvy students to really learn.